Apple isn't exactly known for value, but the new iPhone SE 2022 makes a very good argument for being the best phone under $500. You get the same blazing A15 Bionic chip inside the premium iPhone 13, lots of camera improvements, and 5G connectivity for just $429. But the design is nearly identical to the previous model, and the new iPhone SE misses out on some features compared to other mid-range phones. So is this pint-sized powerhouse for you? Here's the pros and cons in my iPhone SE 2022 review. The new iPhone SE's design doesn't feel new, and that's because you get the same small 4.7-inch display and large bezels around the screen as the 2020 model. The good news is that it's easy to use this device with one hand, and it slips into a pocket with ease. If you're still a fan of Touch ID, you'll appreciate the home button on the front, which makes it easy to wake up and unlock the iPhone SE with a single touch. Touch ID can also be used for entering passwords in Apple Pay, similar to Face ID. In addition to providing a stronger glass for the front and back, Apple has freshened up the look of the iPhone SE by offering a new midnight color option. It looks dark navy blue indoors, but a brighter blue in direct sunlight. And you get the same IP67 water resistance as before, so you don't have to worry if the phone gets wet. There's no way around it. 4.7 inches is small for a phone display, especially in 2022. All you need to do is see the 5.4-inch iPhone 13 mini side by side with this phone to appreciate the wasted real estate. But the screen is responsive and gets the job done for the price. When watching a trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi, this panel delivered a decent amount of detail in Ewan McGregor's face, but the bezels proved distracting. Watching Netflix wasn't much better, as I found myself pinching to zoom to no avail. Still, at just under 600 nits, it's fairly easy to see this display outdoors, and the panel delivers rich and accurate colors. The iPhone SE 2022 has the same camera hardware as the previous model, including a 12-megapixel shooter on the back and a 7-megapixel selfie camera. But the A15 Bionic chip provides some imaging upgrades. This includes Smart HDR4 for handling challenging lighting conditions, Deep Fusion for better details and texture, and photographic styles for giving you more control over the look of your photos. In this shot of flowers versus the Pixel 5a, I prefer the iPhone pic because the yellows and blues are brighter than what the Pixel delivers. I also give the edge to the iPhone SE 2022 in this shot of fruit taken indoors. The lemons, oranges, and apples pop more, while the Pixel's image looks a bit oversaturated. This shot of an eagle statue looks good through the iPhone SE, but the Pixel 5a does a better job rendering the face and feathers. When it comes to portraits, the iPhone SE is at a disadvantage because you have to get very close to the phone to achieve that bokeh effect. That's the price of not having a second lens. But in this side-by-side comparison with the Pixel 5a, I think the iPhone captures a brighter and warmer shot of my face in the sun, along with a bit more detail in my hoodie. Where the iPhone SE 2022 struggles is in low light because it completely lacks a night mode. As you'll see in this photo of Star Wars figurines, the Pixel 5a delivers a much brighter and crisper shot with its longer exposure. The iPhone SE also falls behind the Pixel 5a in this selfie. Google's phone reveals more in the shadows, including my eyes, and there's a contour effect going on with the iPhone that I just didn't ask for. With just a 5x digital zoom, the iPhone SE can't quite match the 7x zoom of the Pixel 5a here in this shot of Canadian geese. You can make out more of the gray feathers, and there's more of a gradation of color overall. The iPhone SE 2022 can shoot 4K video up to 60 frames per second, and this clip does a generally good job capturing the waves and birds as I pan around, even though you lose some detail once zoomed in. The new iPhone SE is ounce for ounce the fastest phone for the money, and that's because of its flagship grade A15 Bionic processor. Whether I was racing at high speeds in Gear Club or battling Hydra as Captain America in Marvel Revolution, the new iPhone SE felt just as fast as the iPhone 13. This phone also blows away the Android competition on a range of benchmarks. For example, in 3D Mark, the iPhone SE 2022 achieved a frame rate of 56 frames per second, compared to just 10 for the Pixel 5a. The iPhone SE also soundly beat the Pixel in Geekbench and our video editing test. The new iPhone SE also supports 5G, but not all of the flavors. It doesn't work with Verizon's ultra-wideband, but it does tap into sub-6 GHz and newer C-band networks rolling out. In our testing on T-Mobile, we saw downloads exceed 100 megabits per second in some locations, which is good, but not great. The iPhone SE 2022 is supposed to last up to 2 hours longer on a charge than the previous model, thanks to the A15 Bionic chip and a slightly larger battery. But we didn't see the best endurance in our testing. On our 5G web surfing battery test, the iPhone SE lasted 9 hours and 4 minutes, compared to 9 hours and 45 minutes for the Pixel 5a. Though to be fair, the Pixel is a larger phone with a larger battery. The previous iPhone SE lasted 918, though that was over a less power-hungry 4G connection. On the plus side, the iPhone SE can charge fairly quickly if you have a 20-watt Apple charger. We got to 61% in 30 minutes. At $430, the new iPhone SE has enough processing power to last you for years, and it takes surprisingly good-looking pictures given its single rear camera. But the chunky bezels feel even more dated now than they did a couple of years ago, and while the photo quality is top-notch, the lack of night mode is a big miss. If you don't want a small phone, I'd recommend the older but still good iPhone 11, which packs a 6.1-inch display, dual rear cameras, and night mode for $499. And if you're comfortable with Android, the Pixel 5a delivers a bigger screen and longer battery life for $450. Overall, the iPhone SE 2022 mostly succeeds in being a great value, but next time I'd like to see a design that better matches the cutting-edge components. For Tom's Guide, this is Mark Spoonhour.